Hello my dear students, here is again your computer Wunsam, and today I will show you what you can do with texts. The text tool is capable of so many different things, which in fact can be used very creatively if we are using them in a very smart way. But at first we need to create a new picture. What I'm using for this is File, New, and then I select just the image size with the background color white. We keep it like this. I will zoom in a little bit by holding the control key and putting the mouse wheel up. And then we are already as good as done for using the text key. However, I'm using the so-called gradient tool at first because I want a beautiful background in this case. Let's use this one here. I'm using the so-called gradient tool, like I said. And here I wanted to make sure that I have a good selection of colors here. This looks quite nice, yeah, darker, okay. We decrease the color here too. So, okay, this looks quite nice already. Okay, next step we are going to do is using our text tool in itself. How to use it is very simple. We just use the text tool, select it, and then just press here. As you can see, there are these 4 squares now here. And if we now write something down like this is a text, you can see that the text is already selected. We can even select what font we are using. For instance, here is the sans serif, and here is the text size of 30. However, as you can see, it looks totally dark. We can change the color of the text by using the color here. And then let's say a very bright color, let's say simply a bluish white, and then press OK. This looks good, yeah. But we also have the possibility to use specific font types like bold, italic, underline, and so on and so forth. Let's use bold in this case. So, as I've said, we can use fonts which are similar to anything you have used before, if you have used Word or any other text program, and we can use any type of font we have. We just need to press one letter, and then you can see there are these letters here. I will use Franklin Gothic Heavy. This looks okay. And this will be our text for our configuration here. We are also capable of changing some other values here. For instance, we can justify the text here on the left side. We can press it on the left justified, right justified, centered, or filled. It is, like I said, the same with Word. The only difference is that it is inverted more or less. So it goes from right to left instead of left to right. It can be that there are some options which in fact change this pictures this way. So we can go in the full here. So it stays centered, and now we can use this text in fact to change it the way we want. Now what we can do is, as I said, the color, we can change the color, but we also are capable of changing the color of one single letter. Let's make this again bright blue, and this one let's make it green. What we need to do is select the color here, the change color of the selected text in comparison to foreground color. And if we change the color of the selected text to, let's say orange, yeah, you can see that this text is now orange. This is the main difference between the selected color and the foreground color in our case. And it is very interesting because sometimes we can make such amazing effects by using this color and then this color and then this color and so on and so forth. which make it a very colorful text if we desire. So the text is a little bit small. Like I said, we can change the size of the text to 40 or even to 50. Oh, and this what happened now is if we double click the text here or double click it here, then you can see that the text actually changes in its position. The reason for this is that the text in fact organizes itself depending on the squares on the corners or on the rectangles on this way. So if we click down here, then we can change this. If we click down here, then we'll change this. It always depends on your position here. Okay, there is another way to change the text too, because if we look at this here, you can see that there are some buttons too which we haven't used. Here, for instance, we can change the difference in the letters, and here we can change the difference in if we use some new lines here. Everything has this capability of changing the text as much as we want. The third one only works for the dynamic view, because it means that the row it is ends up a little bit deeper than it was before. It all depends on the position we are having. Okay, let's undo this again. Oh, let's undo this again. Okay, this looks okay. If we want to change a text, however, we are also capable of using the same tools which we have in the other way. We can use the Unified Transform tool, for instance, and just change everything in the text we want. Let's say we change the perspective, and as you can see, the text just changes with it. One last point I want to show you now is that all of the tools you can find up there in the status bar. You can choose what tool you want, and we are finally ending up with the selection tools in this case, because I want to show you something. There are the rectangle select tool and the circle select tool, or ellipse select. If we use the rectangle select and copy something from here, at first we need again to create the new layer from visible. And if we now copy this, then we can just copy this in a square, or we are also capable of copying it in an ellipse by copying it now. Control C, File, Create from Clipboard, Control V, and as you can see, it is copied as a circle, just like the selection here. And one last tool I want to show you is the crop tool. The same thing with the rectangle tool, just a little bit more specified. If we namely select the crop tool, we can select the specific position which we need, and then we are only getting this part of the picture of all of the layers. I hope you have enjoyed this little course here, and I can't wait to see what you can do with the text and with the tools we have shown you before. Yours sincerely, Computer Wunser.